Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to my channel. I wonder what we're doing today. What makes this even funnier is the fact that my sister is here and she used to see all the other shit. Y'all like my new intro? It's giving Blue's Clues. Was it giving like salt and pepper? Paprika? Was it giving?
Hi everybody.
So I'm in here geeking right now, but I have a color correction / hair color coming in. My lovely client Ariana, she's not here yet, but I'm trying to set up. So I decided I'll show you guys what's going on behind the scenes. You guys already know, put my mat on the floor. I have her towel, her two capes. Oh my goodness, her cape by Framar, 2 bleach proof, color proof towels. I have a backwards bib over there. And I'm just gonna show you guys what I have behind the scenes. Her hair is super long, so I'm gonna be using my Framar foil it today with my Tropical Vibes foils that were limited edition last summer. But you guys know I love me a good foil, okay? So, wait, hold on, sis. What's going on here? Wait a minute. Why do I feel like this wants to go through here? Hold on. Is it? Say this supposed to do that? I feel like so. Wait, is it? Hold on. I'm not supposed to do this. Oh, you know what? Maybe it is supposed to go through there. Hold on. I feel like it's supposed to go through this little section here. Wait, no, it's not. How would it go through there? You know what? Maybe put this through here. And now, okay. There we go. Now it holds the foil for me. That is right. So off camera, I just draped my floor in my chair because you guys know I don't like to wear my chair. I am going to be going in with some bleach benders today. I also have some backwards bibs by Framar. I'm also using, oh, my camera's sideways. Hold on, y'all. Let me get my legs. I'm also going to be using my scale, but my battery's getting ready to die. I have 2 of these, but because I do a lot of color, and you guys know I only measure for you guys, but I'm going to try my best to give you guys the measurements for this hair color. Also, mask, because I'm not trying to get sick, okay? Period. What else? I have my Blondie lightener. I have a 6 volume. I have a 7 volume, a 20 volume, a whole thing of Blondie enforcing lightener. I have 2 color bowls, 3 black color brushes, 2 white color brushes. I use the white ones for when I'm doing blonding and lightening services, and I use the black ones for when I'm applying color. That's an easy way for me to remember what I'm using so that way I don't cross-contaminate. I also have my Framar gloves, a couple of these on hand, my color track key to turn my hair color that I'm going to be using. I also have a spatula and just a extra towel over here and over here, so that way if I need to wipe my hands or wipe any of the lightener off and reapply, I can easily reach for this, okay? So you guys know I like to just prep for everything. My client today, her hair is really long, so that's why it's going to take a while. I did estimate 10 hours. It probably won't take me that long, but I'd rather overestimate than underestimate, okay? I know I look a little crazy. I just woke up, came straight to do this. I'm about to throw on my my smock, and we about to get this show on the road. I need to go get my phone charger out the car because we going to be here a while. So, I'll throw my jacket off, put my little smoky smart on, and I'm pretty much ready to go when she gets here. I think what I'm going to do is apply her lightener all around first with a really, really low volume developer with Olaplex. She just wants to do like some chunky weave highlights. And then I think what I'm going to do after that is I'm going to leave the foils on, but I'm going to apply her darker color, which is her base color, brown. I'm going to kind of work backwards for this client. That's kind of how I'm brainstorming this before she comes in. And then as the lightener processes, I am going to go in with these bleach benders that or bleach blenders, oh my goodness, that Framar sent me. And basically you use this, how it looks on here, to wipe any lightener off. And then I also like rinse it off, so that way if I need to remove the lightener while the dark color is still processing, I won't be over processing her hair. So that's my thought process. And then after that, I'm going to tone her. I actually got to figure out what toner I want to use, and I'm going to set everything to the side. But that's pretty much how I'm brainstorming, and I will be back in just a few when she comes in to start. Ooh, let me pause my music so I don't get demonetized. Hold on, Cam. All right, so I have her base color at 6.8 CH. So I'm just going to show you guys real quick before she comes in, because I'm going to be zoned out. But this color right here. So I'm going to put this all over her with a 20 or 30 volume. I'm going to let y'all know what I decide when she comes in. But that's gonna be her base color. And then after that, I'm gonna go in. I'll probably put it with the 30 where her roots are, to be honest. And then at the ends, I'll go in and at the ends, I'll go in with a lower volume because she's already lifted. But we'll see when she comes in. I'll look and let you guys know. But this is gonna be her base color. And I'm just gonna go in and add highlights, and then I'm gonna tone her and then make her like a nice brownish color situation. All right, let me. So I got everything ready to go. Just waiting on my lovely client. But look, this is all the toners I have. I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna use yet. I'm not using none of these. I took these from home, but I have like 6GB, 8N, 7N, 8GI, 7GB, a little bit of everything. And also, while I remember, because her hair has a red undertone to it, and she colored her hair previously, I do use a green shampoo. It's called Dark Envy by Matrix, and this is just to cancel out any of the red undertones, so that way it'll cancel out any of the red for the blonde to peek through. Okay, so now it's voiceover time. So here I have my lovely client Ariane. As you can see, she has super long hair. Going in, she has about 6 to 7 inches of new growth. That dark root that you see is her natural hair color. She is a natural level 2. And then the reddish brown color that you see on the ends is actually years of her doing red hair color all over her hair, but she only does it on the ends of her hair. She doesn't really hit up to her roots. So she has that grow out, and it is a reddish undertone. So it faded out into this brown color, but this is considered a color correction. The reason being, she wanted to go chocolate all over into these lighter brown, like caramel type of highlights. And if I went in and did caramel highlights throughout, that red would peek through that caramel and it would look crazy. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys the process that I'm doing here. I mixed some lightener and developer. I am going in with a 7 volume. I'm mixing 1 part of powder to 2 parts of liquid. So if I have 100, let's say, grams of powder, then I will put 200 grams of liquid in, and it will equal 300 grams total. Just in case you guys need to know the measurements. I didn't measure this on camera just because this literally was a 10-hour service. As you guys heard in the beginning, it took me 10 hours from start to finish because I like to take the hair color low and slow, and I don't like to over process my client's hair. So I'm going in with those Fold Freak foils by Framar, and I'm just starting on the back right section of her hair. And my first thought was to go in and weave out all of her highlights just so we can get that process started for her caramel. Fortunately, because she's done the red on her hair and she's trying to go caramel, it's not going to be too difficult. But in some spots, you'll see in some areas I'll show you, it did pull a little bit brassy and orange, but that's okay. Whenever I went into that situation and I saw that, I would just reapply the lightener over those parts, and I'll show you what I mean in a few. So right now, just follow with me. I'm just weaving out some chunky to medium size highlights and just adding more highlights than I need over her hair just to get a nice, how do I explain this to you guys in a better way? So I'm just going through now and I'm adding in highlights all throughout her hair. So I'm just applying lightener all throughout. And then as her hair processes, I will pull the back foils to give the front foils time to process. Again, I'm going in with a 7 volume, but because I just want to make her caramel, I'm just going to take her to like a yellow color. I don't want to take her too pale because we're not going to go super light. I want to keep her around like a level 7 or 8. And that was my thought process. So instead of me doing her base color all over, I decided not to do that, and the reason being was because she has those darker roots and she also has that reddish tint from the mid shaft all the way to the very long ends of her hair. My concern was that I was going to put the chocolate base all over her hair, and then where that red meets, it would not lift when I go to put the lightener in, and then it would just take me forever. So my thought process was, look, get the lighter pieces in there first and then go in between and just create your depth and add your low lights. Okay, so I am working backwards. But again, I'm adding way more highlights than I needed, and I'll show you guys how I blend in everything in a few. But right now, just watch as I apply these highlights all over, and then I'll explain what I'm doing in just the second section. Section. I can't even speak right now. I'm literally doing this in my car, but yeah. If you guys have any questions, you guys know you can ask them down below. I am thinking about doing a membership on my channel so that way I can do more in-depth videos. Overall, this video was a 7-hour video that I recorded. I condensed it down as small as possible just so I wouldn't bore you guys. But if you would like to see the longer videos, I think what I'm going to do is do 2 edits. I'll do a shorter one, and then I'll do a longer, more in-depth tutorial of the full entire service, so that way you guys can see exactly what I'm doing, the time it took and everything. If you guys are interested, just comment down below. I'm really considering doing that. So on this side right here, I'm just going in again, weaving some foils out. And then weaving out a section, I want to add my foil, and then I'm just going to go in with my lightener again, just making sure to add some tension. And then I'm literally foiling from top to bottom, and you want to make sure that you thoroughly saturate the hair, because if you don't get enough saturation, then it will not lift properly. So I want a nice even lift, which is why I decided to go in with the foil as well, just to bump that red color that she had out, because she's been doing it for several years. I just wanted to make sure that we can get past that red, so that way that caramel could pop on top of her hair. This was such a tedious process, but it was so worth it in the end. I think what I'm going to do again on my membership, I'm really considering doing that so that way you guys can get more in-depth tutorials, and the people that want the longer videos and more explained formulas and things like that, you guys can see. But I think I'm also going to include my pricing breakdown of how I price my clients. So because she has longer hair and it's a color correction, typically my color corrections start off at $500, but obviously that's for shorter length hair. So let's just say her hair costs way more than that because of the time that it took. And she also added on additional services as far as a silk press and a haircut as well. So you just want to keep in mind that, and I'm definitely thinking about adding that on there as well if you guys are interested. So just be careful and be mindful that this is a process, so you just want to take your time. You do not want to rush doing hair color. So I always overestimate the time. So I told her worst case scenario would be 12 hours, best case would be 10, and it actually took me exactly 10 hours with the press and cut included. So right here is the banding that you see from the red. So in this section, I'm just going and reapplying some fresh lightener on top of the previously applied lightener, just to kick past that red that she has on her hair. And then I'm going to put the foil back over and just allow that to process. She had some areas where it was cool, and then she had some areas where it was a little bit harder to get past, just because she was coloring the top part of her hair a little bit more with the red, just because she can see that a little bit better. So the under part wasn't too hard because I guess she just kind of let it run through. But the top where she was actually able to apply that red where she wanted to, that's where I was getting that kickback. So just be mindful, that's what I did. And of course, excuse me, I did go in and pull the lightener off with the bleach blenders, and then I did rinse them off in between just to make sure I don't have any additional lightener. And I did also spray with a spray bottle, and then I made sure to put conditioner on top of her hair just so that way it's not over processing while the front foils go. So here I am, I'm mixing in her base shade, and that's that 6.8 CH that I showed you guys in the beginning. It's just a dark chocolate color, and that's going to be her base shade, meaning it's going to be her darker color. And of course, I am using Olaplex with every service. You want to make sure that you're using Olaplex to protect the hair and the hair's integrity. I cannot stress this enough. If you don't use this, make sure to use a bond builder, so that way you are not destroying the hair's natural bonds, okay? So all of my natural hair clients know that when they come in, their hair is literally going to be the same way that it was when they walked in the door. And then for clients that want to go blonde or super light, I typically do those hair colors in 2 to 3 sessions depending on how light they want to go. But again, just gauge it based off of your client. So now what I was doing here was I'm weaving out some of the lightened pieces in chunky weave, so those previously lightened pieces. Then I'm going back on those darker brown pieces, and then I'm just applying my base color all throughout, which is a 6.8 CH. And because she has that red on there, I wanted to be able to deposit and lift that red out just a little bit. It is a chocolate, so I knew it wasn't going to be too difficult. So what I did was I put the 6.8 CH with a 30 volume and a tiny bit of Olaplex, and also a tiny bit of 20 volume just to kind of balance it out. So that way I get a nice lift, and it'll take its time. And I'm putting this in foils just to make sure that it's nice and even. This is an extra step, but I just wanted to get that heat going so that way her hair color will really stick to that color and it won't be too reddish underneath, okay? So again, that's just my thought process. And there are some blonde pieces that got into where I had weaved out the darker pieces. That's completely fine, which is why I actually did a little bit more blonde in the beginning. It's easier for me to cover it up rather than to add more blonde. So if you add more highlights than needed and then you just go in and blend them out, that's completely fine. But the thing is, when you do your base color, if you're doing this technique, it's harder to go back in and make it light all over again, because then you will have to relighten again after this step, and I was not doing that. So now for her root, I'm going in with the same 6.8 CH by Rusk and some Olaplex, and I'm also going in with the 20 volume just to bump her up a few levels. And of course the roots do not have foils, but the heat from her scalp will allow the color to process the way that I want. So what I did was I allowed the ends of her hair to process for about 30 to 45 minutes. Then I hit her roots absolutely last, so that way everything could change and her roots wouldn't be too hot, even though this is a darker shade. So what you guys just saw was me at the bowl. I did tone her, of course, to get that brassy yellow color out of her hair. So I'm going to pull it up right now. Give me just a second. I put it on my phone. So the toner that I use from her
was 8 GI and 7 GB with a ½ ounce of clear. And then I just let that sit on her hair for about 10 to 15 minutes, and then I rinse it out, and this is the color that we have. So she has that chocolate and she also has that caramel. It blends with her natural hair, how it's going to grow out. And then I did just press her out, and then she just wanted me to cut her hair into a V shape, so I'm just going ahead and cutting her hair into a V shape now. And that is pretty much how I did this client. Let me know if you like this color. If you thought this would be considered a color correction, or if you would just go in with brown or blonde, let me know. But again, this is my thought process, and I thank you guys so much for watching. I can't believe my neighbor's mowing the grass now, so it's perfect. I'm getting done. But please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.